Lies, damn lies, and the Palestinian narrative. In the Arab-Israeli war, we often see both sides pointing the finger at the other that they are lying. But what if I told you that what is going on is something much deeper? In this video, I'm going to show you that the very concept of truth for the Palestinians is not what you think it is. I'll demonstrate how, within Islamic society, including Palestinian society, the narrative is valued far more highly than objective fact. This is the fundamental difference that causes Western audiences and the media to completely misunderstand the information coming out of the Middle East. Welcome to Causality. My name is Shalom Bar Aretz. I'm a major in the IDF reserves. I have degrees in international relations, sociology, political science, and I formed this channel to give a deeper understanding about what we see in the news every day. In the West, we're raised on the idea that truth is a core virtue. Honesty is paramount. A person is either telling the truth or they are lying, and lying is wrong. We might justify a white lie to spare someone's feelings, but we still understand that it is a departure from the good. This is not a universal value system. While the Quran, like other holy books, praises truthfulness, Islamic jurisprudence has developed concepts that create a different hierarchy. In certain situations, other goals are considered more important than the literal, factual truth. This is where concepts like the principle of permissible deception come in. Islamic scholars have interpreted that lying is permissible and even virtuous under specific circumstances. One is to bring about peace between warring families, factions, hamulot, tribe. Another is between a man and a wife to maintain harmony. But most importantly for our topic is in a time of war. In the context of war, deception isn't a shameful last result. It's considered a legitimate and crucial strategic tool to achieve victory. The goal, advancing your cause, justifies the means. The narrative becomes more important than any objective reality. Now, I'm not simply making a crude claim that Muslims are liars. Rather, I'm highlighting a deep-seated cultural framework where shaping a narrative to fit your goals is not perceived as a moral failing as we see it in the West. In a way, they've been masters of the post-truth world for centuries, believing that the narrative you control is the reality you create. Now, I never fully grasped this until I started actively looking at Palestinian social media channels, the ones intended for their own local audience, not for Western consumption. And one incident crystallized everything for me. I was looking at it as a terrorist attack was unfolding in a nearby Jewish community. At first, the channel reported that Palestinians of the resistance were infiltrating the village. They were celebrated. This was an action of resistance against the Israelis. But then the Israeli army engaged them. After a firefight, 3 were killed. And then everything changed. Immediately after their deaths, the same Telegram channel, which had just said that this was an infiltration operation of the resistance, put out a new message. Do you see what happened? A second ago, they were the resistance. But once they were dead, the narrative required them to be victims. They were teenagers, fired upon, near the village. This fits the story of Israeli oppression far better than armed attackers killed in a firefight. These weren't terrorists, these were teenagers. And this wasn't for CNN or the BBC. This was their local group. This was only intended for their own audience. Even then, the narrative instantly trumped the reality that they had just reported, or any objective truth. This is what you need to understand. This is not only a way to lead the West to thinking what they want to think. This is a deep-seated cultural trait where to themselves they will relate the convenient truth. And that is what is needed to be understood. When Western media receives information from Palestinian sources, they operate under the assumption that the intent is to relay accurate facts. But often the intent is to relay the information that serves the narrative, whether factually true or not. And this plays out on a daily basis. Not only in big dealings, but also in small ones. Now, I've had plenty of dealings with Palestinians, and oftentimes I have been baffled by the willingness for them to tell blatant, easily disprovable lies over trivial matters. Lies that don't even serve a real purpose. But you have to understand, it's not even about malice. It's about presenting the best possible picture at all times to save face, both for themselves and others. It's a society where convenient, face-saving narratives are often accepted by all parties, even when everyone knows it's a lie. Now, if this happens over small things, imagine what happens around the big issues. They can say with a straight face that there is a genocide in Gaza, even though they know it is not true. They can say with a straight face that there is a deliberate famine in Gaza, even though they know that it's not true. They can claim that hundreds were killed at aid distribution points, even though they know it's not true. Why? It is because these stories fit the overarching narrative of oppression and victimhood. The Western media, assuming a baseline of honesty, reports these claims as if they are one side of the truth. And because the Israeli side, operating on a Western model of truth, where you need to find the truth, where you need to show the truth, or at least get as close to it as possible, often takes time to investigate the incidents before issuing a statement. The narrative-driven claim dominates the news cycle for hours or even days. And the narrative wins because it is fast, simple, and emotionally powerful. The truth can oftentimes be messy. It can often have a lot of moving parts, but the easily digestible lie is simple. This commitment to narrative over truth extends to the denial of the most basic history. To maintain a simple, clean narrative of exclusive Palestinian rights in the land of Israel, any contradictory fact must be denied, no matter how well established. They must deny the existence of Jewish temples in Jerusalem. They must deny the Islamic tradition itself that refers to it. They must also deny the 3,000-year-old Jewish connection to the land of Israel, even though the Quran in Surah 5, verse 21, says that God gave the land of Israel to the children of Israel. Even this doesn't matter. Any inconvenient historical fact is simply denied because it complicates the narrative. So when you consume news about this conflict, you have to do more than just a simple fact check. You have to understand you are not dealing with two sides with competing claims. You have to understand that you are observing two sides that have two fundamentally different approaches to the truth itself. One side, Israel, is generally playing by the rules of objective, verifiable fact, while the other is engaged solely in a war of narrative, where the highest good is not what is true, but what they think should be true, and what serves the cause. It is not just about catching lies. It's about understanding that the game they are playing is entirely different from the one you were taught since childhood. Thanks for watching. If you found this perspective valuable, please like the video and subscribe for more content that peels back the layers to not only look at what is happening, but why. This is a new channel, and anything that helps the algorithm is huge. You can find my information in the link and description below. This is Causality, and until next time.